3 minutes. Two minutes. One minute. The Editor-in-Chief is live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome to the program. It is September the 2nd. Welcome. Good to have you here. You're with the Editor-in-Chief live with Lester's Oil, your multi-ingredient omega-3 healthy ageing supplement backed by thousands of satisfied customers. Get the benefits of 6 supplements in 1 capsule to support joint, heart and brain health. Take as directed. Read the label. Stay young. About Health Auckland. Good morning, folks. Nice to have you. I'm Duncan, Garner. Welcome to the program. Great to have your company this morning. Leave us a comment on YouTube or TikTok. All the details are there. Just jump on in there. 0800 863 293 is the number. How old is too old to get a job? How hard is it to get a job after the age of 50? Is 50 old? When do you become invisible? And what if you're entirely competent and want work, but your age means they never get back to you? Ever. Are we ageist and why? Has this impacted you? Let me know. Love to hear your story. Just jump on YouTube and let us know. Ian Fraser from Seniors at Work will join us shortly. Also, entirely competent. Bloody excellent for 66 minutes, but not good enough. This is the All Blacks. A huge effort from the ABs, but the world champs are number 1 for a reason. Can we bounce back next week, and how do we do this? More to say on the video ref shortly. Lots to say. Johnny Day is with us as well. In a moment, as I say, let us know your thoughts. Post a comment on YouTube, TikTok. As I said, it's news time. Here's MediaWorks Deputy News Editor. It is Grace Cocker. Good morning.
An 8-year-old boy critically injured at a Hamilton address has died. Police say they were called to the Beta home yesterday to reports of a violent altercation with 2 adults also found hurt. A 37-year-old man has been charged with murder and assault. Party politics is being partly blamed as a contributor for the current energy crisis. Leaders have received letters from sector groups sounding the alarm. Energy Resources Aotearoa's John Carnegie says they're not helping.
The absence of cross-party consensus has created massive sovereign risk for our investors at the very time when we need them to invest in our energy security.
Coastal workers feel betrayed by international companies being allowed to muscle in. The Niuean-flagged Manaho barge, which runs mineral sands to Nelson, ran aground on Saturday. Maritime Union's Carl Finlay's questioning why a New Zealand vessel isn't being used.
I feel like we've just been stabbed in the heart. We need the commitment from the government to support the New Zealand seafarers.
The discovery of 6 dead hostages in Gaza has set off a wave of nationwide grief and anger. Anti-government protesters are currently being held across Israel. CNN's Nick Robertson says they're furious with Benjamin Netanyahu.
They want the Prime Minister to do a deal with Hamas, however painful, and whatever may happen after that deal, to bring the others home.
To sports, silver for Kiwi sprinter Danielle Aitchison in the T36 at 200 metres at the Paralympics in Paris. And track cyclist Nicole Murray, who was without her right hand, took bronze in the C5 3,000 metres individual pursuit despite a mishap earlier.
I left my prosthetic at the village. Really embarrassed that I did that.
All Blacks coach Scott Robertson's waiting for a please explain from the referees after yesterday's clanger at Ellis Park. The Springboks were awarded a try despite losing the ball.
We wait to hear back from them to see their review first, and then we'll ask the question if they haven't given the answer.
And in Formula One, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc has won the Italian F1 Grand Prix. That's news and sport.
Thank you, Grace. We're talking older people working shortly and how old is old and what's old, and do you think you'll work past what? 60, 70?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I get bored.
Do you?
Like, I constantly need to be doing things.
So-
My house is always being scrubbed when I'm sitting just at home.
Is 50 old?
No, I got surprised when you said that before.
50 is when seniors
start.
start. Well, in the employment market, 50 is the senior.
See, that seems weird because a lot of my mentors in this industry have probably been around that age, and I've never seen them as old, and I've
Look
always
at me.
taken like a treasure trove. Well, mentor.
Look how young I look. Hey?
No comment. I want my job.
keep
I want to
it.
keep my job.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, if you try getting a job post the age of 50, how did it go for you? Did they get back to you, or did you never hear from them at all? I spoke to a 60-year-old bloke once, a couple of years ago, who applied for 200 jobs and only got one person come back to him, and they said, you're too old, too experienced, and too costly. And with the cost of living hitting hard, many mature New Zealanders have been forced to find work. But when the jobs cuts, when they come, are they first to be lined up as well? What is it like for seniors at work in this current economy? And how can we make it better for yourself? Ian Fraser is with Seniors at Work. A fine gentleman, and he's with us now. G'day, Ian. Nice to see you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Welcome to the studio. Hey, just take us back to your journey on Seniors at Work. When did it start? How did it start? Why?
Yeah, so we've been going for 5 years now, and you were kind enough to interview me at that time, which kick-started it all.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so
you haven't aged a day.
Oh, I'm 72 now, so I'm well and truly into that category. So, I mean, I had experienced challenges and difficulties in finding work in my late 50s and early 60s. And I found that recruiters came back, and most of them didn't come back, to be honest. And you talk about the person applying for 200. I applied for 75 and got just 3 interviews. So that was
75.
tough.
Did you get a job from the 75?
I got a contract in Wellington for Cricket World Cup. So I went down there for 10 months, which was great because my daughter was down at Vic at the time. So that was great. But I came back to Auckland and thought there's not really a platform to assist people in my situation, so why don't I have a crack at it myself?
Good on you.
I had no experience. I just thought I'm going to do this.
I remember interviewing you. It was new to you. You were just feeling your way yourself.
I was very much feeling my way.
And so, how successful has it been? And what does your website tell people and help people?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's been challenging because soon after we started, there was COVID, of course, and then in the last 9 months, with the economy as it has been, employers haven't been listing as much. So it has been hard, and it's hard for older people looking for work. So
have more older people been looking for work during this recession?
Oh, no two ways about it.
Really?
And that's the stat that we get. We've had about 30% more people contact me for assistance and advice in the last 6 to 9 months, and they've been really struggling, looking for work and how best can I get work.
Because they can't make ends meet on super, and they can't make ends meet on what their income is, and they need more money.
Exactly, and that could be in their 50s and 60s. They don't necessarily have to be my old age group, but they're struggling.
So when does seniors start?
It's a good question, and I have people on our Facebook page and say 50s.
Be careful, I'm 50.
Not a senior. Yeah, oh gosh, well,
welcome,
Duncan.
Yeah. No.
Don't forget the website. Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean, though. I don't feel. I mean, I kind of feel as naughty as I was when I was 20. You know what I mean?
Oh, you'll continue to feel naughty for a few more years, time. I can promise you that.
It really doesn't get worse, does it? No, but you know what I mean. I feel old when I'm running around the rugby field and I haven't got those legs anymore to move around.
It's not all about the legs, I think.
No, it's the lungs. No, but seriously, what is it? Why is 50 old? Why is 50 seen as washed up?
Yeah, I know. It's a good question. I'm not sure why people 50 plus are categorised as seniors, but we are.
Yeah.
And you've got to start somewhere. And
just
think senior being mature and wise and smart as opposed to old.
Well, it's experience. I mean, whenever I'm in this role and talking to people, I like to talk to people with experience because they've got something to say.
Well, I hope so. And they've got a lot of other skills that they've built up over time.
Why are employers, do you think, reluctant to invest in, and when I say invest in, pay, because it's an investment, isn't it? Pay someone over 50. What do they think? They think they're smart asses, we know too much, or we haven't got the energy or something.
Yeah, it's a hard question. I mean, there are 3 R's I talk about. There's retention, retraining, and recruitment, and a lot of them aren't focused on any of those 3. And they've got to be honest. And I guess it's a little bit more hard work in the sense that they might have to do a little bit more, but the dividend they get from those older people staying on, and maybe if the employer can be a little bit more flexible and the likes, they're going to get rewards, because an older person isn't going to be looking for their next job within 5 minutes of starting the previous one.
No, and we're sort of happy to be there.
We're happy to be there. There's a song, isn't there, about that?
There's something like there's a number of songs. But the thing about it is that we're also reliable. Now, a number of bosses that I speak to over the years, they've all said to me, we just want someone reliable.
Yep.
They turn up for the first day, you don't see them on the Thursday. They go on by Thursday. We want someone who's going to turn up. Older people, mature people, sensible people, reliable people.
That's right, and we have
nothing against my producers. Young and smart, and always here.
A very fine person too, yeah. I mean, that's right. We have employers that specifically want someone a little bit older, especially smaller employers.
Yes.
They might have 10, 15 people in their workforce.
Yes.
And we're the only legal way that they can get someone who's in that age demographic. And I got myself checked out by the Human Rights Commission before I opened, just in case.
All right.
Yeah. So, and they know that they want someone who's a little bit wiser and older.
Because you can't advertise for a young person, can you?
No, you're right, and anyone of any age can apply for a listing on our job site. So there's no constraints or restrictions. No,
because you can't restrict it under law.
Exactly, yeah. But we're providing a service, yeah.
Are people landing jobs, or older people landing jobs?
Yes, they are.
And what sort of jobs?
With our side, it's across the range. We don't get too many listings for the top end white collar jobs. And we try not to get listings for super physical work, like a builder. If they're going to be lifting more than 25 kilos,
we've done that.
But 90% of jobs are going to work for someone over 50. And,
yes.
And we're talking 50 to
And
60,
do they
70.
pay you? Do they offer you? They could offer you more, but do they offer you sort of a lower rate because you're older?
Shouldn't. No.
What's your sense though? Do they?
I don't think so.
That's good.
Yeah, I think they're mainly just not as keen necessarily to invest in a person that age group.
So your take on this recession has been that you've had more.
Absolutely.
You've had more uptake of wanting advice, and have people been able to find solutions, or is it a bit of heartache out there?
Yeah, there's heartache, but we try to say to people, A, be positive. And B, you're going to still have to do the hard yards, because if you're going back into the workforce, you may not have done a CV for, say, 20, 30 years.
I was going to say, what's your advice to people?
Yeah, so we first of all try to get them to register on our site as a job seeker, to set up an email alert so they get advised of any new listing that matches their skills.
Yes.
But the third thing is we have what we call our work readiness info pack. There's 15 pages. It's not rocket science.
You've really developed
it's ABC stuff. But look at your CV. Don't go back too far. Only go back 10, 12 years.
Yes.
When I was applying for jobs, I was quite proud of work I did in the 1970s.
Yes.
But the recruiter said,
"Do you remember that? I was thinking it's a long time ago."
He can't recall that, can he?
There was no cars then.
No. And very quickly they said, nah, not interested. So, I mean, the advice is you keep it to 10, 12 years.
Yeah, keep it.
And make sure it's formatted nicely.
Yeah, don't go back to 1943, just during the war. When I didn't
exactly. Get that in. And a little tip is to get one of your family members who might be in their like teens or 20s to read your CV and make sure it reads in inverted commas in a modern style.
Yes, and also modern language.
Modern language,
Don't talk about yourself in third person and all sorts of things.
All that, yeah.
And a photo from 1980.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you. Are you working now, or is this full time with you?
Yeah, no, as I say, I'm 72. I do this, and then I have a couple of other part-time work helping organisations with funding. So
great.
I love working, and it's healthy.
Yeah,
and I still walk on the road and help people cross the road and things like that.
You walk on the road? That's dangerous.
Well, I learned that in COVID, and the footpaths in Dominion Road aren't that crash hot. So if you're trying to walk fast, you walk on the road.
You'll be alive forever. There's such a thing. Well, we did a story last week on submerging people and freezing them, keep them alive for 200 years, and see if they can come back to life. So you could be a candidate if you put your hand up.
I don't think so. I won't volunteer for that one.
Yeah. Hey, nice to see you. All the very best. I'm pleased it's going so well for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Duncan Garner, live.
Good guy, and he got off his chuff when he needed some help. He needed to help himself. He went and did it. He just saw a big need there. He saw a big gap, and he said, right, I'm going to do this. And he's done it, and 5 years later, hasn't aged today, and he's still going. So I reckon that's good. That's get up and go. Gosh, you'd employ him in a hurry. Right, it is time for 3 questions.
3 questions from the Editor-in-Chief. 1.
At number 1 today, how differently is National treating the gangs compared to Labour? Well, the difference is stark. The public told National to smash the gangs, and National obliged, telling Police Chief Costa, do something or you're gone, mate. Costa then put on his big boy blue pants, and in one week we've seen 21 Commentaros arrested. That's the entire Christchurch arm of the gang, and millions in drugs have been taken. And Headhunter's boss, otherwise known as God, Wayne Doyle, has been decimated after a historic court victory for the police has seen more than $15 million in assets forfeited to the Crown. Hugely significant. Labour's biggest move on the gangs was when the Police Chief Costa wore tight little red undies and he gave them $2.7 million for a meth rehab program, which went down like a cup of cold stick with the New Zealand public. My lord, hasn't the Police Chief had a serious change of approach?
2.
At number 2 today, yes. Now this is with the Māori King. Has the Māori King's death and his funeral and his tongue, he's shown us what an utter waste of time it is to scrap and fight over the treaty and race relations. Sure has. King Tuheitia pledged unity, and there is old Chris Luxon on the marae twice in 10 days, honouring the King and even getting emotional about it. Former national knights there, Sir Douglas and Sir Don, were there too. Of course we can get on. It's times like this when we realise what we have here is unique, so let's embrace it. The fact Luxon's allowed Seymour to run the race relations pitch and run a potentially divisive debate shows his naivety. Luxon should play his cards now. Tell Seymour he's rethought the treaty stuff and it's off the agenda. Being a leader, Mr. Luxon, make a stand. To hell with that. What are they going to do? Going to support Labour and the Greens? I don't think so.
3.
Number 3, should the government save some businesses on the brink? I reckon they should sometimes. I think it's time the government stepped in and saved the Central North Island Winstone pulp and paper mill. Consultation with workers ends today, and the mill could be closed by October due to high spot power prices, making it uneconomic to carry on. Do a deal, keep it open. The government must step in and broker a deal so they can get cheaper power. The TY Point smelter gets the cheapest power in the country because it's big and it uses so much. They do deals. The Winstone situation is more than 230 workers. It's about whole towns and generations and families working there. Keeping the lights on is better than going on the dole, surely. Is there someone in government with some vision, a heart, some empathy and some brains? If so, can you step up, please? Really in life, do you get the chance to make a difference? So do it now. I've given you the idea. You can claim it as your own. Good luck.
Duncan Garner, live.
Oh, I knew we'd get to this today, and this is the rugby, and this is the sport, and Johnny Day, head of Media Work Sport.
It was a rough start to Father's Day, wasn't it?
It could only get worse from there.
Yeah, man, I was pumped though with 15 minutes to go, and we were up by 10, and it was like the way that we were playing with such skill from our forwards, so many beautiful passes, Caleb Clark scoring tries untouched in the corner. It was just like, we were on, and then all of a sudden, our bench came on, their bench came on, and they just overran us.
Our bench was messy.
It was bad. Ofatuanga Fussy was the experienced guy, and he ended up in the sin bin. So playing the last,
I don't rate him. I've been like this for a long time.
He doesn't have that mongrel in him. He's solid.
But he makes mistakes.
He does make mistakes, and that was a costly one. And they brought on Quagga Smith, who's an absolute terror. He scored a try. Eben Etzebeth came off the bench for him, not bad. And Grant Williams, the reserve halfback, who also scored a try. So while their bench took them to victory, our bench kind of took us away from victory.
And this is something Fraser will have to look at. I mean, I thought they played, they have stepped up. They were on
The
form.
skill, like, this is the toughest team in the world on their home patch
doubt
in the
about it.
Cauldron, and we had them. But to give it away like that was so disappointing. And Fraser mentioned it in his Zoom last night that we used to have Sam Whitelock and Dane Coles come off the bench at the Rugby World Cup last year. We don't have that experience to bring off the bench, so you can manufacture it by leaving one of your experienced guys on the bench, like maybe not in the forwards, but a Bowden Barrett or a Sam Cane, who I thought was brilliant as well. But you need 80 minutes from those guys. So how do you get the closers to get experience to finish the game?
Well, you pick Kane again, don't you, next week?
I think you have to.
Don't you?
He played so
I
well.
think he's the best 7 in the country right now.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and Blackadder was tireless at 6, and I don't think you can make any changes to the starting team, but I think the bench needs a serious look.
But who is there? But see, this is the thing. When you go and say the bench needs a look, and I agree with you, who? Why?
Dalton
Where?
Papali'i, I guess, if his thumb's okay. I thought Samapeni Finau was all right, but didn't snot anyone. So I think Papali'i's got that experience that he can bring to the bench. But in terms of tight forwards,
we need a Tuipulotu, don't we? We need a Tuipulotu or something.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, I just to have it
we
so
haven't
close.
Ethan de Groot as well, you see, because you normally bring
de Groot
Tamati
would be,
Williams.
exactly.
So these are changes there.
Yeah, but we go again, Duncan.
Hey, but the thing is, the All Blacks used to win those games.
Yeah.
So the All Blacks have for years had the smarts to win those games. That smarts, that IQ, rugby IQ, has now gone to South Africa.
Yeah, and that depth, just incredible depth in what they have, and picking players from overseas definitely helps.
There's some lessons here, and Fraser has to go back to the rugby union and say, okay, boys, I need this.
Yeah, we need as many good players as possible.
Because guess who'll be there?
Who?
Frizzell.
Yep.
If you're picking from overseas.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go, there's your answer.
You'd be right there.
Imagine that.
Absolutely.
And the try that wasn't a try. If you're going to have, I'll say something on this shortly, but if you're going to have a video referee, then you're going to use him, then use him. I mean, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, that's the gutting one. It happened early in the match, and I guess, we have to suck it up and be like, that wasn't the winning and losing of the game, but it certainly doesn't help, does it? When there was a blatant knock-on, and TMOs get paid decent money to do one job.
They have one bloody job.
And
They have to
everyone
watch a video.
half cut at 3 a.m. in the morning can see it on their TV in New Zealand. You think a guy in South Africa watching TV would be able to see that it was a knock on?
Who was the video ref? Do we know who it was?
I can't. It doesn't come to mind
South
right
African
now.
or no?
No. The bad old days when we couldn't win a series over there because of the local officiating.
No, but seriously, though, how do you miss something drops a ball?
I know. I can't wait to hear you have a crack at that. Actually,
I'm remember. It pisses me off. What's the point otherwise? Anyway, Sean Johnson says farewell.
Oh. What a pass. The last thing he ever does on a rugby league field is a match-winning pass, and they come from 18 points down to beat the Sharks.
God, they annoy me, this team.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? You get a glimpse of what could have been, what should have been this year. And you're like, Sean, why couldn't you have done that all year?
Is he ready to retire?
Nursing that Achilles. Yep. I'd say his wife would say he's ready to retire. Kayla Johnson, the former Silver Fern, she was there. Did you see her signs?
Yeah.
I still get to play with Sean Johnson.
Yeah.
Quite like that. So he would have enjoyed.
Johnson?
Yeah. He would have enjoyed Father's Day, wouldn't he?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Some afternoon delight maybe yesterday for Sean Johnson.
Jesus,
but
Johnny.
just brilliant, eh? Like, I love it when people get fairy tale finishes to their career.
He deserves it.
He deserves it. Absolutely. There's a lot of people out there, but he didn't win us a premiership. No one's won you a premiership.
But who's going to? But is Johnson, he goes down as alongside Stacey Jones, Simon Mannering as one of the greats?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Top 3?
Yeah. Oh, definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Warriors.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, who else is the Mount Rushmore? It's Mannering?
Yep.
Stacey?
Yep. Sean. And then I don't know. The fourth one's probably up for debate.
Fourth one's coming next year.
Steve Price, Ruben Wiki, good jobs, but Wiki's more of a Canberra Raiders legend than a Warriors legend. And Price is a Bulldog. So
the next Warriors great is James Fisher-Harris, and he comes and wins a title with us.
You reckon?
Yeah.
He's going to bring it. He's going to bring it home.
4 years.
It's hard to ask a prop forward to win you a premiership. They can get you forward, but you need playmakers and
God, we do, don't
people
we?
to
Who replaces
score the
Johnson?
tries.
Who replaces Johnson?
Well, it's a good question as well because there's several options. Luke Metcalf, a young player who was injured for most of the season.
Is he good?
Big raps on him.
Big raps, okay.
From the Sharks. And then you got some of the local guys like Chanel, Harris Tavita, who was
up and down.
Yeah, very much so, and maybe a 5'8" rather than a halfback. So,
but where's our electric players? What's the guy for Reece from Brisbane? Broncos?
Yeah, Reece Walsh. Well, he went missing in State of Origin.
Yeah, he
so
didn't he?
Yeah, it's a tough game. Old rugby league, you know it.
Oh, it's still sensational.
Yeah.
Now, what about what else we got?
Paralympics, 2 medals overnight. Nicole Murray, who's a track cyclist, lost her hand when she was 5 years old. Lawnmower accident. How many this happens to a lot of Kiwis, it seems. Sophie Pascoe lost her leg with a lawnmower.
Sophie Pascoe, that's right.
But she's got no hands since she was 5 and is a track cyclist, got to the individual pursuit and left her prosthetic hand back in the village. So she raced in the qualifications without her prosthetic hand, which... If you've ever been on a bike, it's tough. And then
she had one hand.
She qualified 3rd and then won a bronze medal. Someone went back to the village, got her prosthetic hand, so raced in the medal race with the prosthetic and took bronze. So that's pretty funny.
But the last time I rode on a bike with one hand, I fell off. I was eating pie, having a Coke. I was 12 years of age, North Coast Rally Road.
Danielle Aitchison, who has cerebral palsy, she got silver in the 200 metres sprint.
We're doing well?
Yeah, we've got 3 medals so far. I think... I don't know how far you delve into how much money they get from High Performance Sport New Zealand and what the targets are for our Paralympics. We probably should delve into it that way and treat it just the same as the Olympics, right?
Have you ever seen the wheel blacks, the rugby team play?
Yeah.
Is that full on, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we went out there and played, we'd get hammered, wouldn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen other reporters get invited to their trainings and chuck in a wheelchair, and there is no holds barred. They get absolutely dominated. So, cool to see our athletes win some medals as well. A bit of AM Cup overnight, America's Cup.
Oh, yep.
Lingy were disqualified in American Magic. 3 lead changes with Team New Zealand, whose boat miraculously is okay after.
It bounces.
Yeah. So we beat them, American Magic, by 29 seconds, but a lot closer than that seemed. NPC, Auckland haven't won a game.
Yeah. Should we have a moment of silence?
Sorry to laugh at them, but they are the biggest union in New Zealand, probably the most successful union in New Zealand, and it's been 4 games and they haven't won.
So tell me this: why are they so bad? Because I follow college sport because my son's at Mags,
question.
Right? So I watched the Westlake Rosmini final last week. I watched Kelston St Kitts, then I watched Kelston Westlake at the weekend. Right, Kelston won. So there's some brilliant rugby players in this catchment. There's some amazing. Top of the world young rugby players coming through.
Yeah.
Where do they go, and why don't they catch them here in Auckland?
Yes, the youngsters coming through that you're not seeing, right?
Brilliant players, mate.
Depth it's a weird one. And North Harbour's not doing great. Counties Manukau aren't doing awesome, so they're hardly pinching all the players, are they? So
where are they? Do they go to the league?
Maybe.
Because Kelston, which won the Auckland Championship, they didn't go to the rugby league tournament this week because they kept their players back for the rugby final, you see.
I see.
So
scouts are everywhere.
Oh, no, seriously? Scouts are everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
So in the meantime, Hawke's Bay at the top, my mighty Tasman Mako are also up there with them, and they have a Shield challenge this Saturday. Never won the Shield. Nelson
Tasman?
Bays in Tasman as a union, never won it either.
No, Marlborough's had it.
Marlborough's had it in the 70s.
Yeah, lost it to South Canterbury.
Yes, I think you're right.
Lost it to South
Hey,
Canterbury.
look at you,
1974. They lost it.
Nice. And I think Jamie Joseph's old man was part of that Marlborough team.
Well, yeah, they were a good team.
Back in the day. Wellington also unbeaten, beating Canterbury yesterday. And NRL to go away from the Warriors. The race for the top 8 still on. The Dolphins sitting 8th. The Knights had a win over the Titans yesterday, so Knights versus Dolphins this weekend.
Dolphins have done well, for a new franchise.
Under Wayne Bennett, and a new franchise, and he's already kind of gapped it because he's going to Souths next year. So
he's just a gun for hire, isn't he?
Absolutely, and he's the best coach ever. So you'd open the bank account if you're a team like the Rabbitohs battling. You go, what do? We get Wayne Bennett back.
Pay someone.
But at F1. Leclerc won for Ferrari in Italy, so very popular win with both of the McLarens in behind, and Max Verstappen, who was dominating earlier on the season for Red Bull, 6th, so his lead's getting eaten into, which makes it exciting, right? Formula One's good again. And
so those McLarens are doing well, eh?
Yeah, love it. I don't like the orange.
No, neither do I, but this is the legacy stuff.
Yeah, it's our team. It's our country. New Zealand, if there's a team New Zealand in Formula One, it's McLaren.
It's not the other guy in Barcelona.
See you later, mate.
JD, good on you, mate. Nice to have you here. John Day from the Sporting Rebel.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, feedback in here. Moana says, I still have faith in the ABs to take the next game. Duncan, read jobs. It should be the best person for the job. Young people won't necessarily stay that long. Older people will. I hired the oldest person of the 4 I interviewed recently as they were the best personality fit. Isaac, you're how old are you? You're 21, eh? 21?
Hang on. I'm 20.
You're 20. You seem so mature and good at your job. I'd hire you.
Thanks, man.
Have hired you, yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Did you come in on an internship?
Yes, yeah. So January, Forrester and myself kicked our internship off. So we spent 2 years at a broadcasting school, New Zealand Broadcasting School.
Yes.
And then,
so now you're in this environment, and what do you make of this? Is your first job?
Yes, well, my first full-time job, yes.
And do you enjoy full-time work?
100%. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Job. You're really good at. You and Forrest are really great at your jobs.
Thank you very, very much. It's also really nice being able to something that I've noticed is there's no homework with a full-time job, and so when you go home from your full-time job, you're done.
Yes, there's no studies, no exams.
No exams, no studying. And I know there are lots of people that work overtime, blah, 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 but right now, for me, 40 hours.
Yeah, I think there's two key things to it. One is you got to love what you're doing, right?
Yeah, but you're so good at your job, Forrest. You love it. Yeah?
Thanks, Duncan.
No worries.
Yeah, and also I think that guy's absolutely correct in what he says, that you can learn so much from your older peers in a workplace.
Yeah, but we can also learn from you too. So do you guys look at me and think old?
No, I wouldn't say so. No.
You guys are safe.
Survive today.
No, but I look at you and think really competent. Really competent and actually cutting edge. Like this wouldn't be Forrest. We wouldn't be doing this if you hadn't come up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
I'm giving you a live on-air endorsement.
Thanks, Duncan.
I'm not sure. James says, Duncan, my worker is 69 and my bro's worker is in his mid-50s. Who do you trust, young people or old people, when it comes to work? You have to judge.
I think you've got to have a combination, right?
Yeah.
You've got to have the combination of the both.
Yes, I agree. Okay, let's slam it.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Now, why shouldn't referees be accountable when they fuck things up? Because that's what they do. They're fully paid professionals, usually grown men. They will know when they've had a howler. Everyone is accountable in life. Police officers, journalists, criminals, dodgy teachers. Even the judges get peer-reviewed and overruled by a more senior judge. Our politicians are accountable every 3 years. Our coaches are held to account each weekend. And our players after each game. So it's all accountability. Refs and video refs, they must be allowed to soar with the angels and fly above the criticism. You can't touch us. That simply doesn't mirror the real world. And it makes them look stuffy and precious and with something to hide. They're paid professionals. You can't tell me they can't take some shit. Come on. Are they really such precious wee pups? What's worse is when the video ref makes a wrong call when it's so obvious it's on video. He's not seeing anything different to what we see. How on earth did he not see the knock-on? The tackle. I don't want this to sound like sour grapes. I couldn't give a shit, really, but I just want some honesty in the game, some transparency, and, of course, some accountability. Here's some criticism for you. Open your eyes, pal. You got it wrong. Despite 4 replays, now here's Fraser to roast you. When it's obviously so blatantly a wrong call, then put it right. You're the assistants and the ref. Huddle up, man up, own up. Protecting them from criticism turns them into high and mighty figures like those who should not be approached, like judges. To not be able to criticise them is like living in North Korea or Putin's Russia. The thing is, refs are paid to perform, and in the NRL, when they get it wrong, they say so. Against Tuivasa-Sheck the other day, the dirty play, they reviewed it, and they put their hand up, said, our bad. That's all that's required. You could see from what Fraser said after the Springbok game yesterday, that he was furious with the call, and he almost said something. But the thing is, he faces fines and sanctions if he tells the truth. So he's got to be really careful. He's got to actually lie. He was a bit cheeky, wasn't he? But Fraser, to me, comes across as a spade guy. When Leon left, he said, Leon's gone. I no longer see eye to eye with the guy. Brave All Black stuff. Honest and direct and over within the hour because of brutal honesty. But asking him to say nothing about these kinds of mistakes is almost unattainable over time. Fraser is a colourful coach who wears his heart across the entire blazer. Silencing him and shutting him up and shutting him down appears unnatural, and it may indeed be futile, really. When rugby coaches fuck things up, we in the media go to town on them. We rip into them, and they usually lose their jobs, not when you stay on. It's called accountability. It's ruthless. When players play like shite, we go to town on them, and coaches usually drop them, bring them back, drop them, and then it's the end of them, you see? It's ruthless. It's called accountability. Finlay Christie, gone this year. What did he do wrong? Not much. Remember Christian Cullen, best ever? Gone from the All Blacks at age 27. It's a dog-eat-dog world. It's professional rugby. And accountability matters. Everyone's accountable, but the referees. It's not light and fluffy ripper rugby where everyone's a winner and no one's hurt either on or off the field. Shit, no, this is rugby at its professional best. And our oldest rivalry, the toughest opponent over all the decades, is New Zealand All Blacks versus South Africa. And as far as sport goes, this matters to us. So put a grown-up in the hot seat and open up the referees to criticism. What are they scared of? Surely only the truth. And how does that saying go? The truth will set them free. It may well be true, but they need to hear it first, don't they? All right, good morning.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, so that's us. Did you guys... you probably don't. Did you get up and watch the rugby? I set my alarm and slept right through it.
No, I didn't get up and watch the rugby.
Neither did I. I used to as a young kid. Hey?
I watched the Argentina game 2 weeks ago. Loved that one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest, the idea of getting up at 3 a.m.
No, exactly.
Whilst I support the All Blacks with all my heart.
Yeah.
It's just like... Yeah.
But how do you miss something on a video ref, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mean I say how great, but Forrest, you know, there's a video here, you know.
Yeah. Should we start doing? We could do replays on this show, Duncan. Should we do some slow motion replays of guest
Yeah, I'd like to actually.
Sort that out for tomorrow.
Yeah, of all the F-wit bloody referees.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
there are some poor referees around. I mean, I wouldn't last a week as all-back coach because I'd be criticising the referee. Silly asshole. Anyway, yeah, that's us. Okay. Thanks for tuning in to Duncan, Garner, Editor-in-Chief. I'm live with Esther's Oil, the premium New Zealand-made fish oil supplement. Backed by a study, support joint, heart and brain health. Use the code Duncan for 10% off. Abouthealth.co.nz. Take as directed. Read the label. About Health Auckland. 0800 999 309 is the number. If you ring that number right now, 10% off. Say you're with me and mention my name and you get 10% off. It's good stuff. My knee has still not got a strapping on it, and that's the joint stuff, so it must be working well. Just as an aside, I'm going to head to Tauranga today. My son has been called into the Manama Grammar Under 15 rugby side of the national tournament. He's only third form, and was under 14's captain, but he's been called up to the big boys. So be interesting to see. Better go down and keep an eye on things, and I hope they go well. All good luck to all the teams that are heading down there. That's us. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your feedback and support this morning. I'm Duncan at rover.nz. To my team, Isaac, Forrester, Zarina. Thank you, guys. We'll do it again tomorrow, whether from here or Tauranga, who knows, but we'll be here somewhere. Remember, life's no dress rehearsal. Get out there and own it. It's no curtain raiser. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth. So go and enjoy it. Have a great day. Take care, folks. Ta-da.
That was Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live. Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.